many of you guys have ever been to a place and you've seen a point of sale system? You have a computer and another monitor and a little receipt printer and the computer and the cash drawer and the barcode scanner and the printer and the, how much is that per system?
Just company you're in.
Thousands of dollars.
Okay.
Thousands.
Your minimum is probably 2,000 to clear up to 10 per aisle. And then you have to buy the software per aisle, per station. Okay? So say I'm like, oh, we're a busy company, we have 3. Like, that's really not that many. But like, if you start doing the math, you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. All of a sudden, you have 10,000, 20,000, $1 million, $1 million, whatever it is, as your upfront cost. What we do at Adilas, we're like, hey, we don't have a contract. We provide a service. If you like it, play. And if you don't, guess what? It's almost like research money. But if you like it, guess what? Instead of paying $50 million to get this thing, and then you're like, oh crap, I really don't like it. You're like, huh, I just spent $1,000 and great, look at this. I learned this and this and this, and I now know that I want to go this direction. You could even use it as research money. We would love to have the product and like have the people as our client, but our system is literally open. I pulled up this little flyer, and it's hard to see the little things. You guys have a little map? So the little outlines, these are huge keywords that people say. POS, CRM, online expense tracking, business intelligence, creating customer data relationship, back-end office and accounting. And then at the very payroll and time clocks. And at the bottom, we just circled the whole thing and said, Adilas. All data is live and searchable. It has become more and more and more of that, and it's amazing. It's been very, very fun. But in a lot of these pieces, how many of you have heard of Salesforce.com? Okay, it's huge, 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 huge. Guess what they primarily do? Customer relationship management, CRM, and they're barely getting into some invoices, and they can do a little bit of this stuff. But people have tons and tons of stuff. But as soon as you start doing that, you're literally taking all these different systems, and you're almost putting yourself into the same environment where you're hitting a brick wall. Oh, I really wish it did this, and I really wish it did this. And so what we've done at Adilas, and it's a little bit random and a little different, and we know that it's different, but we basically like, well, let's help you run your business. Let's help you track your data. What do you do? And it is really flexible that way. But what it allows you to do is you can mix and match and twist and turn and have fun and permission it out and create settings, and we can call it bottles for you, and we can call it widgets for you, and et cetera, et cetera. Permissions and settings. You're going to keep coming back to those little things. Those little things can support amazing, amazing amounts of data. I'm going to show you a quick little image on settings and permissions, and this is once again my little daughter, Abby. She drew, actually she didn't draw this, I drew this one, but, okay, so user permissions or whatever and settings, that's supposed to be a foundation. That's kind of like, that is what Adilas is based off of. That will help you kind of understand what some of these different little things are. Awesome. Do you guys want to follow this anymore? Any other comments on burning platforms?
Just to reiterate both Hugh's question and Ethan's question, if in a quick 5 points, if you could just give us a few points of what you think is the selling feature.
What I think is the selling feature?
Kind of like back at you, the same question. That's Ethan, you framed it. Ask the question, the same question you asked me, just so he gets the same question that you asked me.
I don't remember it.
You were saying, what is the selling points? When you talk
Yeah,
to a client.
what's the sizzle, not the steak? Basically, I've got 3 minutes. I'm in the guy's office. I'm cold calling. I've got 3 minutes. What are the 5 points that I know 1 or 3, or not all of them, is going to hit him, and he's going to get excited because I'm going to solve a problem that he has,
Okay.
that Adilas is uniquely created to do.
Okay. What if I answered your question and said, the approach we have taken is literally one of thousands that could be taken. What we are doing will be duplicated, it will be copied, it will be done, a lot of this type of stuff. We are pioneering some new paths. We are in a realm where people have not played much. People don't track stuff like this. And guess what? As soon as they see these models, we're going to end up training our competition, okay? And so I don't really even know what to tell you, but I think that we have kind of stumbled onto something we didn't even mean to. And basically, it's kind of the next generation of where things are headed. This is where things are headed. It really is. And we don't have it all done yet.
Why
really
is it
don't.
heading there?
Why is it heading there?
What's causing it not to go away? What's so good about it?
I think things are breaking. Things are breaking. And what I'm talking there as far as like even the Ford model where they were doing all this really cool production, well, Toyota came in and said, I don't need that, and I don't need that. I can do the same thing and cut it slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. And so I think what's going to end up happening is traditional models that have been around since 1494 that we are currently doing. It's amazing. Things are going fast. It's such a fast pace. I think it's awesome. I think it's very awesome. One of my favorite personal things about Adilas is we've already kind of said it today. I take a piece of data, I do the whole thing, and I tuck it into bed, and I let go. And then I move on to the next. That is how I run Adilas. I let it go.
I think you can say we are breaking tradition. In other words, that's really what you're doing. And essentially you're doing it in every step of the way.
Right.
Watch Fiddler on the Roof and watch Tavier, just a little bit, you know, and he has some pretty cool things in there. But he says, why do we do this? And he says, sometimes, I don't know. You know, why do we stay up there, you know, on the roof? I mean, that's the name of the movie. But just watch it and take that you are breaking tradition. That's really what he had to accept. He had to accept that even his family, you know, they weren't in the same mode. But every child had something that they were offering that was different than what he was used to, and it was almost like, I can't handle this, you know.
Okay, perfect. I love that. That's
So-
great.
From just what everybody's saying, and because I don't use it, I may be totally off, but these are the ones I came up with. Cost,
Cost is huge.
huge.
Cost is huge.
Dynamics so that it can be changed. There's no lag time.
Okay.
So it's dynamic. Real life type documentation where you don't have to fit into a model. You can really say what's happening. That's the way it is. Those are the three I've come up with so far.
Perfect, perfect. I love
Good
that.
ones.
I love that. I love that.
And I think time management is huge.
Time management.
Less double entry, the productivity is much higher.
You just have to enter it once and it travels throughout the system. You
It
don't have to
takes
re-enter.
off and flows.
No
And you're
double,
not look-
triple, quadruple.
Right.
You can integrate.
Well, and you're not
Point of
looking
sale.
at overtime when your time management is spent well, when you're not doing double and triple entries. Payroll is a big headache for any company, I don't care who you are. A lot of the times the companies will farm out their
Right.
payroll. One, they don't want the headache. And two, time management. I've done payroll for the Burke & Cotters for years, and I now do it for another company. And I tell you what, I will look for a penny in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping. And I have never had that problem with Atlas. I was audited for payroll as well on my reports, and I walked out squeaking. And I was just happy as a clown. You know, David and Steve were all, oh, thank you so much. And I'm like, no, your system did it. I just supplied the reports. Time management is huge, and it cut my time in half in payroll, sales tax, many areas where you got more time on your hands to be working in other areas of your company as opposed to spending 2 weeks on payroll or 3 weeks on sales tax on a spreadsheet. You click a button and it's there. You want to double check a few things and you're good to go. Time management is huge. No company wants to pay time and a half. Now, if you're on salary, they could care less.
So we're talking about cost, we're talking about hardware, software, and labor. Is there another cost I'm forgetting about?
Well, a lot of the systems, you have to sign a contract for a year, 2
Yeah.
years, where you're locked into that. Adilas, you're not, you know, you decide you don't like it, you're not committed. And like I said, you didn't buy all the hardware, you didn't buy all the software, you didn't sign a contract for a year, you don't have the tech support that cost you, you know, $50 an hour, and they're in India someplace, and you can't get a hold of them.
Well, better you
That's
get
another
And
good
you
one,
can't
by the way.
understand them anyway.
Live.
Pretty much.
So,
The Atlas system of having live, so far you've built this in a live system, meaning bodies show up. And, I mean, you do a lot of help on the phone, I know you can, but so far, you've had a lot of live, it's based on live people showing up. And I'm looking at some of your competition that's out there right now that's trying to do this. They're trying to do this completely with it online. There's no help. It's only video, it's only training, and that's not gonna motivate most of my small business owners in America to transfer. They will not make a decision off a website. They need to look Steve in the eye and him say, this is what you need, this is what I can do, here's how I'm gonna do it for you. Let's go. The web won't do that for many people. Only a few accountants will be brave enough to turn that over and jump into that. They need a live person still to change tradition. That's another asset, is we have live teachers.
Awesome. Can I tell you about a little experience we had in Salida? And I don't think that they would care if we used their name, but there's a thing called the Mixing Bowl in Salida. And it's a kitchen needs store, like blenders and coffee makers and spatulas and pot holders and that type of thing. All sorts, like 14,000 million different little widgets, like cups and mugs and thermoses and you name it. It's a kitchen store, okay? We went in and we demoed them. It was a very small demo. They had some of their owners in. They were using a cash register, okay? We went in and we're like, hey, we can help you track your inventory. And they're like, oh, we really, really want that. And I'm like, I've got a team of 5 people who can come in. Sherry happened to be one of them. Greg, did you do anything at the Mixing Bowl?
yeah.
You came out.
Okay.
Mhm.
We recruited some outside help, trained them. We showed up, and within just a couple of weeks, we took 14,000 million. I don't really know how many they have, but it was tons, okay?
Yeah.
Including a whole back room and including this. And we showed up and we're like, all you guys need to do is pay a couple $100 for some little barcode printers, and we'll buy you a couple barcode scanners. You can use your existing computers right this second, okay? So like, no cost, no cost, no cost. And I've got a team here that we can come in and help you so that your employees can continue to sell, and we'll help do you. And as you're not helping your employees, you can come help us. And so all of a sudden, we brought in laptops and had a whole bunch of laptops, and we're sitting in there entering data, and we set up this entire company, and it was awesome. And they've done a wonderful job.
Right.
They've paid for years and years just happily because we were able to provide that setup fee. Like, they would have gone with any other company, but we basically said, we have a team we can help. That's what a huge benefit, a huge, huge benefit.
And Brandon,
Well,
another part of that
another
is
part of
some of
that
the
is
employees
their-
that it makes them both tell them about
Yeah.
the client, you know, what do they call them? Clients of.
They're clients of StarPoint.
Right.
That
So, okay.
Right.
can work within the system.
So,
Um,
yeah,
And they
StarPoint
can
is
run the system.
a handicapped.
Right, mentally handicapped people.
So what they do is their business model is they have active employees, normal, I use the term normal very loosely, okay? What we would consider a normal functioning person. And they're teamed with a person from StarPoint who is actually somewhat on a challenged level, whatever it might be, Down syndrome or other problems like this. And these people are in there and they're able to click and print out barcodes. They can actually run sales on this thing.
They
And-
run the program.
and
I
they
go in
run-
and visit them.
Right.
When I check on Lisa, they're a phenomenal client. And when Brandon says inventory, he's not joking.
There's tons of
Not.
stuff.
There's tons. But to acclimate the StarPoint clients was absolutely phenomenal to watch. These people can work on the program just as easily as you and I.
Right, they can
And to
sell.
watch their self-satisfaction was just unreal. Unreal. Because, you know what,
They
no,
don't get a lot.
people wouldn't give them a
Yeah.
chance.
And what's
And-
nice about our permissions is they can't mess up.
No.
Right.
They can go somewhere
No.
and do
They
something.
can
No.
clock in and they
You,
can make a
you
sale.
get to give them the permissions to create an invoice and clock in and clock out, but that kind of gives you some sort of slight insight of how user-friendly the program is. some of these people don't function very well, literally. They're highly intelligent, but their functionality is very low. And to watch them, and to watch them work in the program and be successful, lets us know that Stephen Brandon has created something so user-friendly that it takes little training by any means to be able to get in there and work without a problem. Yeah, they've done well.
We have had some comments on some people saying, why doesn't it have this cool user interface and these GUI buttons and cool, pretty stuff and things like this? So interface is very, very important, and we've been criticized very harshly. Our entire goal has been function over fashion. I'm actually an artist, and I do a lot of stuff like that, but we purposely haven't even touched it yet, as far as like GUI type interface and how you can make some cool stuff. Do you guys want to see just a quick little demo of a totally different product that we tricked it out on the interface side?
Sure.
You might have fun with this, okay? This is not Atlas, by the way.
While you're looking that up, can I make a comment?
Yes, absolutely.
What I'm hearing is, because it's so determined, forgive me if I say this wrong, so DOS looking, some potential clients have a problem believing that we are the state-of-the-art company that we're claiming to be when the product itself looks DOS. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So I am putting up, to a degree, to start that way, is putting up its own brick wall.
Okay,
So if we can not put up a brick wall, leave most of it the same, but especially when I first walk into that business the first time, what I first show them, there can be a little less DOS looking, because once they get what we do, I just don't want anything for them to go, what's that? That looks like DOS. I'm not going back there.
Yeah.
Anything I can do to drop that brick wall, the way it's set up is good, and it does work, but the look is a little bit of, I'm going to pass on this one. And anything we can do to stop that.
We'll take it right now, to tell you the truth. And currently, that's where we're at. We still have some pieces we're trying to get together.
Yeah.
And like some people are like, dude, it already works. Like, this is mentalities, and it just kind of depends on what you're doing. I had a picture up here, and I brought some shoes back there. I don't know if you remember it. I had sandals and sneakers and work boots. We're currently kind of the sneakers and work boot type thing, okay? It doesn't look like, oh, cool, I'm going to the beach, man. And like sticking on your flip-flops and stuff. It's currently a work boot and or a tennis shoe type product. I'm going to show you this other one, and this is just for fun. This is one that my dad actually helped me out with this. This was a great product that we bonded weeks and weeks and weeks. Good stuff, okay?